Wow, so the Florida state trooper who got arrested for buying drugs from an undercover cop has some kind of connections with a DEA agent that got arrested for being a drug kingpin and selling fentanyl and stuff to people. It's pretty hilarious, but it just goes to show how, like, corrupt cops are, and, you know, they're, they're given this kind of authority to, abuse people and stuff, and then they abuse their authority. It's no surprise that, they do this, especially when they're protected from doing anything wrong whatsoever.
This now fired sergeant of the Nassau County Sheriff's Office was part of a government task force devoted to fighting drug trafficking. Now he's locked up, charged with being a drug dealer himself. Federal agents say they found cocaine and fentanyl in James Hickox's house and even ecstasy in his office at the Nassau County Sheriff's Office, where, as we said, he has now been fired.
Wow, so he had drugs at the police department, probably doing drugs while on duty. And he's selling fentanyl? I thought it was the fault of brown Mexicans that fentanyl is in the United States, but lo and behold, it's cops selling it to people. Surprise, surprise there. It's just like when the FBI or CIA were selling crack to black people so that they can then arrest them.
I-Team investigator Ann Maxwell has been digging into the allegations against him and possible ties to another drug investigation that resulted in the arrest of a longtime highway patrol trooper. Ann.
Mary, it appears the informant who blew the whistle on Hickox may have also led investigators to another former DEA officer who's also facing a drug-related charge. I spoke with the former prosecutor today who's not affiliated with this case. He says both of those officers could be facing more charges here in federal court.
It's pretty hilarious how cops are busting other cops for crimes when normally cops protect other cops with the crimes that they commit. So I guess these cops had nothing else to do but decide to bust other cops because what, they didn't have enough black people to arrest.
37-year-old James Hickox appeared in the courtroom Monday. On Friday, the FBI raided the longtime Nassau County deputy's Callahan home. According to an affidavit, federal agents found crack cocaine, a loaded gun, and fentanyl in his garage, as well as more than 300 ecstasy tablets in his office at the Nassau County Sheriff's Office, and what were believed to be 2 burner phones in his patrol car.
So this DEA agent was basically a kingpin selling drugs while arresting other people for drugs, probably stealing those drugs and then selling them back. I mean, which is typical of cops to, sell drugs to people. Then bust them for those drugs, take those drugs, and then sell them back to other people to bust. It's just one end of the cycle of theft by cops.
Hickox's home, the affidavit says, agents found 3 shoeboxes containing an estimated $100,000 cash, plus about $76,000 in a safe. According to the FBI, a search of Hickox's financial records revealed $260,000 in credit card charges since 2020, as well as expenditures on construction and ATV, medical bills, and plastic surgery. John Rockwell is a criminal defense attorney not involved in this case.
I know that he said he had some kind of a gambling problem and was getting money from family, but it seems unlikely based on the amount of money that's being paid, used to pay off the debts and other cash that is being used in the form of cashier's checks.
The investigation.
Wow, his excuse for his crimes is, "Oh, I'm an addict. I can't stop gambling. Blah blah blah. Oh, don't treat me bad."
Investigation into Hickox started in August when a longtime felon arrested by Homeland Security on drug-related charges said Hickox and another law enforcement officer, who is not named, would steal drugs seized in investigations and give them to informants to sell, with the understanding the officers would receive a cut of the proceeds.
Wow, okay, so they're busting people for drugs, giving those drugs to informants, having those informants sell those drugs, and give a cut to the cops. Wow, I mean, so we have like thousands of the police departments around the nation. How many cops are doing this with informants? it's pretty wild. But somehow we're supposed to believe that like cops are like these community protectors and they care about people and they're like good people and stuff. Okay, so I mean, if using drugs makes a person bad, how bad are these cops when they're doing tons of drugs, and then like beating people and abusing people for also using drugs? It's like, no, you people are shit. Though honestly, what we need to do is legalize drugs so that these cops can stop abusing people over drugs, because it will be regulated by the government, just like alcohol and stuff. You don't see DEA agents, selling alcohol to people in order to make money, but you do have cops selling, crack cocaine and fentanyl to people.
Longtime FHP trooper Joshua Erie was arrested on the same day as Hickox. The description of the informant who tipped off investigators about him matches that of the informant who reported Hickox. Erie is charged with using or being addicted to pain pills while in possession of a firearm. An affidavit says Erie had undergone surgery and was originally prescribed painkillers in 2018 before his prescription tapered off, and then he turned to a confidential informant to buy drugs. Both Hickox and Erie were at one point both part of DEA Task Force 2, the affidavits say. Rockwell says it's possible some of their charged activities could be related, but it may also be a coincidence.
The charges are definitely more serious for Mr. Hickox than they are for Mr. Erie, but definitely telling that could be who the other officer is as defined in that complaint, but it also can be another person who we don't know of yet.